Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2020 Chevy Express van, we're going to be showing you how to install the etrailer.com Class 4 trailer hitch receiver. But before we do that, why don't we check it out and make sure that this is something that's going to work for you. So a lot of the people that bring their Express vans into us and get a hitch on it are primarily using it for work. And that makes sense. You know, these things are super versatile, essentially a full-size truck that's covered. And so using this type of vehicle to do those things really does make sense. We also get some people in here using them for shuttle vans and things like that. And you're carrying a bunch of people around, you got to pull a trailer behind it to, haul all their luggage and everything else. So a hitch on this type of vehicle honestly just makes sense. And if I was looking for one, I would want something that would be heavy duty and you could use it for pretty much anything. And with this setup here, it definitely checks that box. So with this being a Class 4 hitch, it's going to have that 2" by 2" receiver tube opening. Super common size, ton of different accessories will work out with it. And it's also going to have a reinforced collar there at the end for some extra strength. It is going to use that standard 5/8 pin and clip. Now keep in mind, a pin and clip does not come included, but if you need one, not a big deal. You can grab it here at eTrailer. And we are going to have some plate style safety chain openings. I do wish they were a little bit bigger, but still workable for sure. They are going to give us enough space to use just about any size hook that we might have. The hitch is going to have some really good weight capacities. As far as the maximum gross tongue weight rating goes, that's going to be 1,000 pounds, and that's going to be the amount of weight that's pushing down on the hitch. So really high number. And let's say if you were happen to use a cargo carrier, bike rack, something like that, you're going to be able to use pretty much any size one that you'd want to. As far as the maximum gross trailer weight rating goes, that's going to be 10,000 pounds, and that's going to be the amount of weight that is pulling on the hitch. So that is the weight of the trailer plus anything that you might have on it. And this hitch can be used with the weight distribution system, which is a separate component. And what happens whenever you use that is whenever you're pulling your trailer down the road behind your Chevy, it's going to keep them nice and level. With that said, if you do use a weight distribution system, the capacities are going to increase a little bit. Maximum gross tongue weight rating will go up to 1,200 pounds, and the maximum gross trailer weight rating will increase to 12,000 pounds. But keep in mind, never a bad idea just to grab your owner's manual. That way you can make sure your Express van can pull up much weight safely. There's something I do want to address, and that is trailer wiring, because a lot of times people that bring these into us kind of want the full package. They want their wiring, and a lot of times they plan on pulling a trailer that has brakes, so they're looking for a brake controller. And the good news is with these vans, really straightforward to get all that figured out. If you just need trailer wiring, very easy. We sell multiple kits here at eTrailer. If you're going to want to use a brake controller, there's a couple more things that you're going to need to pick up. So one of them being the universal brake controller install kit, and you're going to use that kit in conjunction with your 4-way flat trailer wiring. And you're also going to need a brake controller. And one that I really like that I know works really well, we've had a lot of luck with them, is the Takancha Prodigy P3. Now I'm going to give you a couple of measurements, and you can use these to help figure out which hitch mounted accessories to get. From the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube opening, that's going to be about 17.5 inches. So if you plan on doing some towing, chances are pretty good. You can use a ball mount that has a straight shank. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the edge of the rear bumper, that's going to be about 4 inches. And you can use that measurement to figure out that any folding accessories you might have can be stored in that upright position without making contact with your back bumper. As far as the installation goes, it is super easy. One of the easiest hitches to put on a vehicle for sure. Essentially all you're going to have to do is drop some bolts right down into the frame and hold the hitch up and put a couple nuts on it. So really straightforward. Probably the hardest part is just holding the heavy hitch above your head to get it in place, but if you got a buddy that can help you out, it's very manageable. But speaking of installation, why don't we go ahead and put it on together now. To begin our installation, we're going to be underneath the back of our Chevy, and first thing we need to do is get our hardware in place and the frame rails. Whatever we do on this side of the vehicle, we're also going to do to the other side because it'll be set up the exact same way. But with that said, we're going to have 3 attachment points. So we're going to have these 2 right here, and then we're going to be using this one right here. And the hardware that you're going to be using will all be the same. You're going to take the carriage bolt, a spacer block, put that through. Then you're simply just going to reach your hand through the openings there in the frame rail and drop that hardware down. Now with the next set of hands, we can grab our hitch and raise it into position. So we're gonna go like that. For this one up here, you want the bolt to drop down through that opening there in the hitch. And once you're holding it in place, we can take a flange nut, and we want to get at least 1 started on each side, hand tight. That way the hitch will support itself while we work on the rest of the hardware. And kind of a quick tip with these 2, sometimes the bolts want to push up. You can either come in from the back and hold the top of the carriage bolt down to keep it steady, or you can put some side pressure on it. And sometimes that'll just make it easier to get that nut started. Once all of your hardware is in place and hand tight, you can come back with a 19mm socket and snug it all down. Then after that, you want to make sure to come back with a torque wrench and tighten all the bolts down to the amount specified in the instructions. If you don't have a torque wrench, you can pick one up here at eTrailer. Or a lot of times you can go to your local auto parts store and rent one from them. And that'll finish up our look at in the installation of the etrailer.com Class 4 trailer hitch receiver on our 2020 Chevrolet Express van.